How are we getting on, folks? I don't know who's kicking themselves more, yourselves or myself. Obviously 6:45. If you go back to around 9:45 in the video, um, you will hear that I mentioned what's known now to be known as a 28-1 winner, and I completely bypassed it. Sickening, absolutely sickening. But look at the fact that our nap and our next best were non-runners. I think that really paved the way to how the day was going to go. Um, the rest of the runners didn't necessarily run too bad. Look at for the sim for the fact that China Princess ran a decent enough race. Fred Astaire ran a very good race. Our friend looked like we might be winning, but um, the only horse that disappointed really was Slate Grey, and that was look at it was just I've no real answer for Slate Grey, but the rest of them were close but no cigar. Look at what can we do? Only just move on and hopefully this bad run of form just goes away and hopefully it's sooner rather than later, because I'm getting sick of looking at horses being either nabbed for the win or nabbed for second or third when they're each way. But look at Kilbeggan on tomorrow. I'm absolutely delighted. Kilbeggan obviously has been a very lucky track for me over the past couple of months. Summer racing has been definitely hot on my card for since you could say around May or June. Really looking forward to tomorrow. Actually, there's some very nice prices in here that I think are actually going to run a very big race. Horses that are valued from actually the shortest is 4 to 5, which isn't great, but horses are ranging out to 20 to 1. And look at once they get a good run, once we get a good run for our money and all that, is the main thing. That's exactly what we want, and we just want to knock a bit of fun out of it, because look at the end of the day, I'm certainly advising people not to be gambling big, but just for the sake of fun and the things and all that, like that's the way it should be done. First race off in Kilbeggan tomorrow, 4:45. It looks a tricky card. An awful lot of these I would be definitely considering. But overall, it's a weak race. I don't need to tell you that. It's wishy-washy racing. The one that I'm liking is actually a newcomer, and coming from the Gavin Cromwell yard, Connor Maxwell on board. Very much underrated jockey, in my opinion. Kabin Fever Too, currently priced at 10 to 1. Now, I'm looking more the line of the breeding aspect on this. When you go into this horse's breeding, the mother, she is related to some very talented source. A couple of these include the likes of Lamy Surge, Size and Cadelco, Vienn's Cher, French, a French horse, I'd presume. But just going back to the first two, the likes of Lamy Surge, Size and Cadelco, these are proper grade one horses. If this horse can emulate any sort of ability from that line, Leading Light isn't a bad sire either. Like, so when you put it all together, like it's definitely a very nice page and a very nice card to look at. In a weak enough race like this, has it got the ability to go and win a race this week? I certainly think it does. And this is a big if it does emulate the bloodline crosses and the just general talent on the page, if it can emulate like what Lamy Surge and Size and Cadelco have done in the past and put it into perspective here today, there's absolutely no reason why this horse isn't going to be a winner. At 10 to 1, though, I would be advising each way, look at just be safe more so than anything else. There's some very experienced horses in here, so they're going to definitely have the edge over the newcomers. This newcomer could be as green as grass tomorrow once it goes to the races. You just do not know these horses, but if it's the case, we're straight and we're honest and we're sound, we could be on a very, very nice sort. And 10-1 for me looks to be overpriced. I think it's got a nice little squeak each way in a race of this standard. Next race off then, the 5:15, and definitely look at it. It is the most exciting race in the day. You have Wonder Laish, a 140 rated horse, coming up against Eclair de Beaufort, 136. I personally think Wonder Laish is going to be a very, very hard horse to beat. Now look at the Cathal Burns stable. With all due respect, I'd like to see them doing a little bit better than what they have been over the past couple of weeks. They haven't necessarily been firing them in on all cylinders, but if this horse cannot win, there needs to be something done in terms of tweaking things around a little bit, because I know it is a competitive field, and Eclair de Beaufort isn't a bad horse. There's no denying that. But Wonder Laish, in his prime, was streets ahead of the rest of these. 6-5, in my opinion, definitely going to be the nap of the day. I don't think you're going to find much better chances than that. To double your money, I definitely would be advising to go with Wonder Laish for a win. Whether he's going to win or not, with the way things have been going with my naps, he mightn't even run tomorrow. So look at it's your own opinion and all that. Like, so I'm just going to leave it up to yourselves. But in my opinion, anyway, Wonder Laish for me is definitely the nap of the day. 5:45, and we are going to take a little bit of a chance here. On a good going day, I would be all over Fastbender. There's no question about it. I would be absolutely head to toe all above him. Just the way he runs and all that. Ideally, you'd want him held up not so far back around Kilbeggan. You want to be up near the front. And I'm going to be severely contradicting myself here, but I'm going to take a chance on one. Similar enough style to his, but I think on this ground, she is a much better horse. And she definitely has shown some very, very good qualities in the past. That one there is Joanna Yates. Obviously, it has Yates somewhere down the line. Obviously, the sire was Yates, so definitely will like a bit of cut in the ground tomorrow by Ask Julie, or Ask June, should I say. Nazar was the sire for that mare. Not 100% sure what sort of horse Nazar is in terms of breeding aspect or anything like that, but look, we're going to take a bit of a chance. In terms of ground dependency, this mare wants soft. She does show her best on soft. I think the run in Tipperary on heavy ground, definitely one of her best races so far. She absolutely flew home. She flew home from rear of midfield, and looked like she was definitely going to be the winner on the card that particular day. But in front of her was My Friend the Wind and Fastbender. Obviously, look at Fastbender meeting her again today. But in terms of the pulling the weights, actually, I didn't look at this. Fastbender off 11 stone 12, and Joanna Yates off 11 stone 4. So there you go, with another 3 pounds being claimed off by Ambrose McCurtain. So look at Joanna Yates was only getting a pound that particular day. She is now getting 11 in terms of overall, including the claim as well. So look at, I think that is probably going to be the nail on the head for me. 12-1, you could be doing an awful lot worse around Kilbeggan. That's one thing for sure. But we know with the rain that's been falling over the past 24 hours to 48 hours, she is going to like the ground and she is going to run some sort of a decent race. I definitely think she's very well weighted for this. And I think 12-1 is a lovely each way price. Next race off then, the 6:15. And look at this. It is wide open. I think there's one certainty here. there's going to be an awful lot of non-runners because most of these are good ground horses. So if the rain keeps coming like the way it has been coming all day and the ground turns to soft tomorrow, you're going to see an awful lot of horses being pulled, regardless of the well-being or anything like that. Like, they're just going to be pulled because they don't handle the ground. There's one in here that potentially might, and it's currently priced at 20 to 1. It did open up at 33s. We missed the boat in that one, but Tango Theatre is one that's sort of catching my eye. For some reason or another, I don't know, but I'm just looking down through the form. 4th of 16 at 50 to 1 in Fairy House. I'm after going into the wrong race. Behind Light Brigade, Purdy's Gift, and Lariat. Ahead of Lars Last, Tuck Mill, Still King, Mullopmore Wave, Wild River Ridge, Lila Garrity, and Field of Dreams, just to name a few. So in terms of a reproduction, let's just say, that would bring this horse right into the firing line here. The way it likes to be ridden, midfield. So ideally, you'd want the horse a little bit closer, but if it means that it's going to be a mud bat, it's going to open up the race widely. So ideally, you would want a little bit of cover now tomorrow, and the fact that she does like to be held up around midfield probably is going to play to our strengths. 20 to 1 for that sort of a horse in these sorts of conditions tomorrow. What I'm predicting it will be, I'm predicting it's going to be soft, at least yielding, if not yielding to soft. So they're technically ideal conditions for this mare. And I'm going to say potentially she is well thrown in here. And 20 to 1 at the moment looks massive, but come 6 o'clock tomorrow, this mare could be 8 or 9 to 1. And if that's the case, we're sitting pretty. 20 to 1 looks overpriced. Think it's going to run a big race. Definitely going to be the biggest price of the day for me. Next race off then, the 6:45, and this is going to be my patron pick of the day, so I'm not going to be covering it. But the next race then, the 7:15, I am going to be going with a horse that, look, I've been following this horse for quite some time, and it's let me down more times than it's really delivered for me, let's just say. Premium package at 11 to 4 looks to be a nice price. Generally likes yielding the soft. Winner in a point to point only up the road from myself and Stolen. That was on debut, if I'm not mistaken. It was back in 2019. Second next time out in Roscommon on good ground. Winner in Down Royal on yielding to soft ground. So that would be absolutely ideal for us. Beating the likes of I'm So Busy, Red Jerry, Steal the Thunder, etc., etc. Belfast Banter. Ho ho. There we go. There's a bit of form in the books. Now a grade 1 winning hurdler. She beat Belfast Banter by a street. But look, I wouldn't take that form into too much consideration. Like, Belfast Banter back then was just one of these horses that would throw the ties out of the pram and just not want to do a tap when asked for pressure. I think premium package here definitely does come in with the best form in the book. When you look at that win that particular day, I'd actually forgotten she had beat Belfast Banter. So yeah, that's definitely turned the screw for me. I think she will get the better of Definite Plan on ground to suit her a little bit better. And 11 to 4 looks to be a nice price. I don't know really much more I can say about it, but she definitely does take an awful lot of boxes now. And just after realizing there the fact that she finished the street ahead of Belfast Banter, now a grade 1 winning hurdler, definitely looks very, very interesting. Next race off then, 7:45, and again a wide open race. The favorite is here at 5 to 1. You can make cases about every single one of these. I'm actually kicking myself because there's so many horses in here that I have a strong love for in the past. And look, at generally a race like this, I wouldn't back. I just sit back and enjoy a great blanket finish. Like, um, the likes of Samurai Cracker, Demand the Lobe, Plinth, Cross You Boy, Jack Hackett, Nobody Home, Summer Hill, and Clundara. All of these have paid my way plenty in the past, and it's going to be a very, very tricky race. But the one that I'm always tied to, and people are probably going to think I'm mad with this one now, is Jack Hackett. Currently priced at 14-1. Definitely well worth in each way. This lad absolutely loves it around Kilbeggan. Whatever it is, must be the smell of the whiskey being brewed. Obviously being named Jack Hackett after Father Jack. I definitely think it's got a great each way shout. Now look, it should have to cross over the past couple of runs to pull it up a Nate, but the 2 fourths previous to it, Punchestown and Kilbeggan, Punchestown on soft and Kilbeggan on good. You would definitely have to consider the fact that he was only 3/4 of a length behind Battle Over Diane. Obviously, look at Battle Over Diane ended up winning in Galway. Whether it was luck or not, I don't know. I definitely think potentially it was luck. The fact that there were so many non-runners in that race, I don't know. But look, at he won in Galway, so fair play to him and all that. Plint loves it around Kilbeggan, and generally has been a very versatile horse. Could go on absolutely any ground. I remember I was in Kilbeggan a few years ago when times were good, and sort of getting into a small bit of an argument there, actually, arguing the case of Plint one particular time, and he was full sure that the horse wanted good ground and this and that, and I said that he was sort of consistent, and ended up the horse was done by a head and put in a very, very good race at something crazy like 20-1. But he's definitely in with a squeak. Look, at he's coming in here off 10 stone 13. If he can emulate any sort of form, probably going back a couple of years now at this stage, but if he can emulate any sort of form, the time that he was with That Love, definitely very, very interesting. But going with his former stablemate, obviously now, like, while still in Kieran Murphy's, Jack Hackett, I absolutely love this horse around Kilbeggan. There's nobody that can sway me on any other horse as hard it is for me to say, but Jack Hackett definitely, I definitely do like the look of him. I think he's got a nice overall chance if bringing back any sort of form in this particular grade here. Finally, then, last race of the day, the next best, Flemencello. She should not be beaten. She looks a very, very nice mare. Looks like a mare that has a big, big future ahead of her. I think if I was taking her on, I'd be taking her on with Bow Tie. Bow Tie has been very consistent and been running well at big, big prices. But I think if she is worth her weight in salt, she should be able to beat this field. It's a weak enough bumper, to be quite honest with you. Bar Bow Tie, who in fairness now is a fairly consistent and decent enough sort. But the rest, looking down through the field, possibly knock William Bridge at an each way shout of 12-1, but look, we've enough each way shouts for today, so we're just going to put in all guns blazing with Flemencello at 4-5. I think, look, it's an odds-on shot, but it's not overly crazy odds-on either. But look, I'm going to leave it there. Please make sure to keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. For those who want to sign up to Patreon, it's too late to sign up for the giveaway this month, but it's definitely not too late to sign up for the overall experience of being in one of the cheapest exclusive groups that you can be in. For the sake of €10, you can't really go wrong. I know over the past couple of days I haven't been able to win too much money for you, but just say for those who have been following me there through Galway and all that, like, if you do feel generous enough, the link is there below. as well as that, just keep hitting that subscribe button there below you. Really, really does help me out at the end of the day. And look at, we will try and get back onto the swing of things and hopefully be able to just get that little bit more luck. Not that our horses haven't been running well, but just falling on the line with the wrong bob of the head. But look at, like I said, the very, very best of luck tomorrow. Definitely plenty of opportunities to make some money. Please make sure to keep liking, sharing, and subscribing, and the very, very best of luck tomorrow.